Shalom, today is January 14th, and it is 100 days of the war between Israel, Hamas, and Hezbollah. The news is full of 100 days, and we'll see different sections about these 100 yamim, days. We'll see a section about the hostages, about the fallen soldiers, about the ones who have been evacuated or uprooted, as they're writing here, akurim, and the soldiers that have been fighting from the south to the north. Inside, we'll also see a survey about the unity of the country and a hero that's no longer with us. Yediot Achronot newspaper. It begins with, it writes 100 days, me'az, since the Saturday, the Shabbat that changed our lives. And the main key sentence here is that Hamas tried to break our spirit, our Israeli spirit, as it reads on October 7th. But instead of breaking, we have been united, and we have been, standing up straight from an understanding that we have nowhere else to go. This is our country, this is our land, and we'll have to fight over its existence. This is Eshkol Nevo writing of his experience in these 100 days, and it's very moving. This cartoon picture shows a lot about what Israel a little bit is going through in the home front. It looks like a standard building, but the little details will show us a little bit more. A sign here that reads, Yachad Nenatzeach, together we will win. This is all over the country, and this is the slogan. B'yachad nenatzeach, we'll win together. We see posters on the wall of some hostages. We see a little sign here pointing to a safe room because it's needed. Here on the second floor, we see the TV. The news is on, as so many people have been watching the news. It says 100 days. We see this yellow ribbon that symbolizes the hostages and asking for their return. So there's a lot packed in this little cartoon picture. Nasi Medina, he's the president of Israel, Yitzhak Herzog, and he writes, "Our spirit will win." And he also writes that our enemy, Hamas, was mistaken. Our spirit of Israeli people has always won, and even this time, our spirit will win. And I want to add, with God's help, not only the Israeli spirit, because who's behind this Israeli spirit? It's not ourselves. Mea Yamim, it continues with Mea Yamim, and this is about the families that have hostages. Still, 136 hostages are in captivity in Hamas. Even Haaretz, right? Haaretz is covering 100 days in Gaza. There was a big vigil starting yesterday until today, 24 hours in the hostage square in Tel Aviv. Just the crying of the families, and some of them say, we are tired of crying, we're tired of talking. And this vigil is just another something that they're trying to do in order to bring back their loved ones. But, this picture says a lot with we see the pain in their faces. And Yediot Achronot newspaper here is, they're sharing an article about families with 2 children in Gaza in captivity. And they say one kid is a nightmare, but 2 kids, you just cannot describe it. And it shares the stories of families with 2 older children in captivity for 100 days already. And again, there are 136 hostages still in Gaza held by Hamas. Here, 100 days, the military effort. This article explains and describes a lot of the military effort from south in Gaza to the north in Lebanon, bordering Lebanon. And there's a little anecdote here about kindergarten or preschool chairs. These chairs are serving the fighters. They're actually from Nir Oz preschool down in the south, one of the hard-hit kibbutz that was hard hit on October 7th. These soldiers have been using these preschool chairs. They took it with them as they moved up to the northern border in Lebanon, and they say these soldiers are promising we will return these chairs back to the preschool where they belong in the day after the war. The headline reads, Orvim al hagvulot, waiting on high alert on the borders. This article reads, Sikul Memukad, targeted assassination, and it's about Israel in Hague, in the International Court of Justice in Hague. This is some news about the discussions that were. There's some good news. The main one is that Germany's spokesperson said that they are standing with Israel. That Germany is standing with Israel, and that accusing the IDF in genocide has no basis. So this is very good news for Israel. The outcome of all this Hague procedures will, the final outcome will be in a few years. But right now, Israel is continuing in war, and it is not genocide. Noar besikun gavoa. This is the 100 days for the evacuees. This article is specifically about the youth, the youth in risk. There's big distress. 60% of them feel lonely. 46% of them feel anxiety or depression. 51% of the evacuees, of the youth evacuees, did not integrate into any educational system or social system, so they feel real lonely, no wonder. 47% are using drugs and alcohol, and 20% have been involved in violent events. And we have personal stories of the youth. Here, this 15-year-old from around Gaza, they say, I lost close friends, and you're asking me about a test, an exam, right? This 16-year-old from Sderot, he says, dead bodies, blood, terrorists, it's not leaving my head. And this 15-year-old girl is saying, she's also from around Gaza, she says, my life I had is no longer with me. These kids have experienced the October 7th very, very close by. They've lost close ones. Some of them have lost close ones. Some of them are having their loved ones in captivity. But they've been uprooted from what they know, from their neighbors, from their friends, from their activities, from their school, and it's far from being over as well. Next is a soldier that was killed, a hero that will not return. It is Dan Wiedenbaum, 24 years old, from Ra'anana. It says, he left everything and came back to the country in order to fight. And here's a report of an attempt of a terror attack on Friday evening. It says, Beleil Shabbat, Friday evening, Nisayon Pigua, attempt of a terror attack in Har Hebron, in the Hebron area. As you say in Hebrew, Hebron. But there is a concern of an escalation in Judea and Samaria, as many Palestinians there have affinity with Hamas. Here in the cameras, there are some security cameras, and you see the terrorists trying to infiltrate the fence into a Jewish settlement in Hebron. The IDF soldiers, reservists, killed these terror attacks. One IDF soldier was injured. Actually, we have a close friend serving in this area, and it was his friends in the unit that shot these terrorists. The IDF, which is the Israeli military, says that a big murder terror attack was prevented. These terrorists were found with M16s on them, with axes on them, with knives on them, and bottles that are meant to explode and burn. So a big disaster was prevented. This page is sharing about the widows. The widows are speaking, 100 days. We see here 4 pictures, 4 different women with young children in their hands, and in the small photos, it's their husbands that had fallen, that were killed in the war since October 7th. One of them is Hadass Levinstern. Her husband, Elisha Levinstern, from Beit Shemesh, was killed a few weeks ago. They have 6 children. Their youngest one is Ruth. And Hadass, the mother, says, I dread the moment she says father, but I am telling her Abba, Abba, right? Tagidi Abba, say Abba. And I tell her you have an Abba in heaven. Yeah. So for more stories, that would be the last one for today. For more stories, go to All Israel News. Follow us on our YouTube channel. Like this video if you liked it. Share this with your family and friends. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.